Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about mantras, yantras, mudras and asanas. Because you will be taught in yoga, meditation practice, Tantra, all these schools will teach you about these things. And you can see on social media, this mudra means this means this means this means this. Great, brilliant, really? Yantras or mandalas. Well, just look at a mandala and this. Really? Mantras. Just sing this, the Om sound. Just use the Bija mantras and you will awaken your Kundalini. Really? Really? 26 years experience I've got with this. People will tell you this. And they say it every day. Is it really true? So funny the way people think they know just because they were told, who were told, who were told, who were told by. Let's look at this very logically, very simply. I hold my hands like this. I can hold my hands like this for 20 years and never experience a chi ball. So by holding my hands like this, I make a chi ball. No, you don't. I've been to Qigong classes. I've been to Tai Chi classes. And I've literally heard they might call themselves masters or teachers. They're instructors who've taken a quick course. They say, well, move your hands like this and imagine or pretend there's like a ball of energy between your hands. Or just pretend or just imagine. Really? That's gonna work. The other thing that you see everywhere is visualize. Visualize light coming out of your hand. Because if you pretend through visualization that you can see something coming out of your hand, and if you have an active imagination, it'll be very easy. And just because you visualize it, does that really mean it's happening? Oh. Children, imagine there's a monster under the bed. Does that mean there's a monster under the bed? Really? What is the truth behind all of this? Well, it's very, very simple. Just like with the chi ball. I hold my hands like this. All I'm doing is holding my hands like this. I have to feel the energy between my hands. And in a chi ball, there are two ways to feel the energy. I can feel the energy like a gravitational or magnetic ball between my hands, as taught in Tai Chi and Qigong mainly, but there is another way. That is, imagine like an electrical, I just did it myself. You hear it so often. Feel like electric currents flowing between finger and finger. And if you do this enough, and I'm not saying in 2 minutes of practice it's going to happen, I'm going to say it takes. If you practice this every day, for a couple of hours, for months on end, you will eventually get to a point that by feeling electrical currents running through your fingers, you will then be able to get to a point that you could stop, touch someone, and you'll give them an electric shock. Then you'll know it's real, won't you? You'll literally touch them and be like, ow. You can even hear the snap sometimes. So what is the secret of all the others? It's exactly the same thing. It's about energy connection. You are connecting the magnetic fields, you are connecting the electric fields. A mudra, you must connect the electric fields within the fingers. One way or the other way, magnetic, electric, preferably both. And different things then actually and realistically start to do different things. And you will be able to say, this reacts in my body in a certain way, this one a different way, this one a different way. So does one specific touch do one specific thing in everybody? Because if I touch like this, or if I touch like this, will it change? That's a good question. When you learn to do this, then what you can do is you can go and find other people that can do these things, and you can empirically test it and see whether everyone explains the same sensation without telling them what happens. And you can say, yeah, but this could be different to this. So be very specific in how you're holding it with the energy connection. And if everybody has the same reaction and says the same thing and you note it down, it's called empirical testing to a certain form. Then you know you're on the right track. So what about yantras? What about mandalas? Well, there's another name for them. In Western esoterical systems, they call them sigils. They can also be called talismans. And there are many other names, depending on what they are, whether it's just on a piece of paper to charge, whether you're drawing it in the air, whether you are wearing it, they have different names. It's about the energy. It's not about imagining it. It is about literally feeling it. So what about the mantras? Transcendental meditation. If you speak to people who studied true transcendental meditation, they will tell you they were reciting the mantra, but then something happened, or they were given a mantra by their teacher. They didn't just read it out of a book and start saying it. And something happened. Yes, the teacher charged the sound for them. Or, as they were saying the sound, the teacher charged them to connect it. So you have to connect the energy with the sound. So this is how the bija mantras work. If you just chant the mantras, it's not going to awaken your Kundalini. You have to focus the energy into the sound, into the area where it needs to be concentrated. And then we can start talking about something actually working. The whole thing of Om, people will tell you a million things about the sound Om. You will never get to understand where Om came from. Once you awaken your Kundalini, and I mean not activate it, I mean awaken it, you will understand where Om comes from, why we have it, what it's for. Until then, I can explain it to you, but you won't understand it. There's something that goes on that when you awaken your Kundalini, not activate it, awaken it, when you connect to the cosmic energy, when you receive, and better said, take Shakitpat, because true Shakitpat is not given, it's taken, you will suddenly, as explained in the texts, you will suddenly start understanding things without anyone having to give you the answer. If you're interested in awakening your Kundalini, it is a path. There is work to be done. This is why I offer a 52-week course where you can study many exercises, building your practice to then go with me and awaken it. I do have a more intensive course, 8-week course. We learn very similar practices. It's very intense because every day you have homework to practice. For those who are more prepared, I do have week intensives. The first one is just activating your energies, what they call Kundalini activation energy, which is your pranic and your tantric energy. Then in time, as you learn to cultivate them, we can then go to a level 2 and awaken the Kundalini. Unless you are someone who has already sought and done much practice, then perhaps you can go and do level 2 straight away. It is about energy. Even with the original asanas, it is about the energy in the posture, not the posture. So people standing there for hours in a bizarre posture, yes, it can help them go relax. Yes, it can help them build muscle tone. Yes, it can help possibly certain twisted postures that put pressure on certain organs. It can help and aid digestion and things like that. Yes, it can. I'm not saying it's a complete waste of time. What I am saying is not the thousands of postures that were made up over the years. I'm talking about their original asanas. When you connect your energy during that posture, it can, with asanas, help to stimulate your Kundalini energy or open the pathway for it. Forget everything people talk in bog standard yoga practices that are instructors that claim to be teachers and teachers that have never done an energy activation in their life. Yeah, that is a huge claim that I'm making. But how many yoga teachers have an awakened Kundalini? Not many. It's very clear. There are some that do. I know there are some that do. I've met some. It took them years to do. By all means, if you want to awaken your Kundalini, go that route. Take years. It's the same as doing it yourself. And in many circumstances, by doing it yourself, which is risky because you have to learn to balance the electrical and the magnetic energies, the Ida, the Bengala, whatever you want to call it. You can make mistakes, but you can do it. And by doing it by yourself, a lot of the time is going to be faster than going to yoga, simply because the teacher hasn't got an awakened Kundalini and they will misteach you things. I have been even to energy practices with some quite well-known energy workers. And they work one type of energy and they think that is it. Again, don't get me wrong, what they do is great work for people that have no experience with energy. Absolutely amazing stuff for people just starting out. But if someone who has a more advanced practice, even self-practice, and they go to these teachers, energy workers, whatever you want to call them, there is a possibility. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen to everybody. What I will say is, in my experience, it has happened that your practice is actually put back. And it could be set back months or years of practice. So be careful about doing other practices. And when you do other practices, if you are an intermediate energy worker or in your energy practice, follow your intuition of whether to listen. And when I say intuition, do not put that teacher or energy worker on a pedestal and oh, well, they're the teacher, they must know better. And if you come with me, I include myself in that. Always listen to your intuition. Check. A teacher can miss something. Even masters can miss things in people. So always follow your intuition, not your egoic voice, not your program. Your intuition. If you do not know how to distinguish the two, yeah, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? And you're probably still a beginner, an advanced beginner, but still a beginner if you do not know how to differentiate those. It's all about energy. It's not about visualizing stuff. Nothing is about visualizing stuff. It is about authentically feeling, and I'm not saying feeling as in emotional feeling. I'm saying emotion as in almost as if it were a physical feeling. And in many cases, it is literally a physical feeling because your physical body will have a reaction in some way, shape, or form to the energy. Let me just say, remember to subscribe. If you like what you've heard, hit the notification button, write a comment about what I'm saying. If you are interested in taking your journey further, go to theawakeningenergy.com. There's always a link in the description to take this further.